In the biting chill of Thanksgiving Eve, a snow-swept Midwestern town sets the stage for heartbreak. A homeless veteran, craving just a warm bowl of soup in a bustling diner, faces the manager's venomous rage. She snatches it away, hurls it in the trash, and shoves him onto the icy sidewalk, His faded medals tumble into the slush amid mocking laughter. Tears freeze on his face, Batim, but across the street, a mysterious figure watches intently. What happens next will stun everyone. As the veteran knelt in the snow, his trembling fingers clutching at the faded medals half buried in the slush, a profound silence fell over the scene, broken only by the distant hum of the town settling into evening. Those medals, tarnished yet gleaming faintly under the street lamp's glow, whispered stories of distant battlefields, nights of unrelenting fear, comrades lost to the shadows, and acts of courage that shaped nations. They weren't mere trinkets. They were anchors to a life of sacrifice, now discarded like yesterday's refuse by a world that had long forgotten its debt. The shove from the diner manager had landed harder than any enemy fire, reopening wounds not of the body, but of the spirit. Homelessness among veterans isn't just a statistic. It's a quiet epidemic born from invisible battles. PTSD's relentless grip, inadequate support systems, and a society that cheers heroes on parades but averts eyes on street corners. Studies from organizations like the VA reveal over 35,000 veterans without stable homes on any given night, their service medals gathering dust while they fight for survival in the cold. This moment crystallized that harsh reality, the veteran's crumpled form a living testament to gratitude's fleeting nature. Yet, across the street, the cloaked figure in white and crimson observed with unwavering intensity, his presence like a sentinel from another realm. Was it coincidence or cosmic design that drew him there? In tales of redemption woven through history, unseen witnesses often tip the scales. Think of the Good Samaritan parable, where an overlooked act of mercy reshapes destinies, or real-life accounts of billionaires quietly funding veteran shelters after personal encounters. Here, the air thickened with anticipation, as a sleek limousine purred to a stop beside the fallen man. The door opened, and a distinguished gentleman emerged, his tailored coat dusted by swirling flakes. Recognition hit like a thunderclap, his eyes locked on the medals, flooding with tears. "You saved me back then," he murmured, voice cracking with decades-old emotion. In Vietnam's jungles, this veteran had dragged him from a burning helicopter, shielding him from gunfire that claimed others. That act birthed an empire, a diner chain built on quiet philanthropy. But the debt remained unpaid until now. Embracing the veteran, the billionaire lifted him gently, dusting snow from his shoulders. The diner's windows fogged with collective breath as patrons pressed against the glass. The manager, still smirking from her triumph, froze as the owner strode in, flanked by security. "This man is the reason I'm alive," he declared, voice booming through the stunned silence. "Your cruelty ends here. You're fired. Pack your things and leave." Her empire of small tyrannies crumbled in seconds, her face paling as the weight of her actions crashed down. Karma, that ancient equalizer, doesn't always roar. Sometimes it arrives in limousines and measured words. Psychological research on empathy gaps, like those explored in Paul Bloom's Against Empathy, shows how we dehumanize the other, the homeless, the veteran, until a personal connection pierces the veil. This encounter flipped the script. The downtrodden rose as the true authority, honored with a seat at the counter, a hot meal pressed into his hands, and promises of housing, medical care, and a job if he wanted it. Word spread like wildfire through the town, sparking reflections on gratitude's true measure. Veteran stories, often buried under bureaucracy, resurfaced in local news, reminders that one act of kindness can ripple outward. The billionaire didn't stop there. He pledged chain-wide training on veteran recognition, partnering with non-profits to train staff in spotting military service and offering discounts. It's a model echoed in initiatives like Hiring Our Heroes, where businesses commit to employing those who've served. As night deepened, the cloaked figure slipped away, his crimson cloak blending into twilight. Some whispered of a guardian angel, others divine justice. But the lesson burned bright. Valor endures beyond uniforms, and cruelty invites its own downfall. In a world quick to judge appearances, this eve of Thanksgiving unveiled a deeper feast, one of humility restored, debts repaid, and hearts realigned. True worth isn't in wealth or status, but in the quiet heroism that binds us, proving that even in the coldest slush, warmth can emerge unbidden, transforming despair into dignity forever. This story of swift reversal uncovers layers of human frailty and resilience, reminding us how snap judgments based on appearances can unravel in an instant. Studies in social psychology, such as those from the Stanford Prison Experiment, echoes in modern empathy research, reveal how power imbalances foster dehumanization, where those in authority, like a diner overseer, view the vulnerable as mere obstacles rather than fellow travelers scarred by life's battles. Yet, when hidden connections surface, the scales tip dramatically, exposing the fragility of unchecked prejudice. Real-world parallels abound. Initiatives like the Wounded Warrior Project highlight veterans slipping through societal cracks, their service medals gathering dust while they face indifference on city streets. One overlooked truth emerges. Empathy isn't innate, but cultivated, as neuroscientist Antonio Damasio's work on emotional reasoning shows, where heart-centered decisions bridge divides faster than cold logic ever could. Consider the ripple effects of such confrontations. When authority figures witness roaring gratitude toward those who've sacrificed, it ignites systemic change. Diner chains across America have adopted veteran-friendly policies, from priority seating to staff training on recognizing post-traumatic stress indicators, drawing from VA guidelines that emphasize subtle cues like faded insignia or haunted gazes. These aren't mere gestures. They're backed by data from the RAND Corporation, proving that inclusive employment cuts veteran homelessness by up to 40%. Biblical wisdom reinforces this. Proverbs 22:22-23 warns, "Do not exploit the poor because they are poor, for the Lord will take up their case." A timeless caution against mistreating the overlooked, promising divine advocacy that humbles the haughty. Delving deeper, the psychology of bystander intervention flips the narrative. In the snow-dusted aftermath, patrons who laughed initially confront their complicity, a phenomenon psychologist Philip Zimbardo terms the Lucifer effect, where ordinary folks enable cruelty until a bold voice intervenes. This awakening sparks personal transformations. Families discussing service appreciation at holiday tables, communities launching coat drives for the unsheltered, non-profits like Team Rubicon channel veteran skills into disaster relief, turning personal redemption arcs into collective strength, proving that one exposed injustice can mobilize thousands. Moreover, the theme probes karma's mechanics through a lens of moral reciprocity, akin to Robert Cialdini's principles of influence, where past favors demand repayment. The billionaire's gratitude wasn't random. It stemmed from battlefield bonds, illustrating how unseen debts accrue across decades. Modern philanthropy mirrors this. Figures like the founder of Starbucks quietly supporting veteran transitions via the Pat Tillman Foundation, ensuring no hero eats from dumpsters. Such acts foster pro-social behavior cascades, per Yale's happiness studies, where witnessing justice boosts communal giving by 25%. Yet the core lesson pierces the soul. True power lies not in titles or tirades, but in honouring quiet endurance. Veterans embody this, their stories weaving through history like threads in a national tapestry. From Civil War soldiers begging arms to today's guardians returning battle-worn. Programs like the Million Veteran Program aggregate these narratives, revealing patterns of overlooked valour that demand reverence. In workplaces, this translates to practical shifts, mandatory sensitivity workshops dissecting implicit bias, tools from Harvard's Project Implicit helping managers recalibrate snap assessments. As reflections settle, the narrative culminates in enduring hope. Cruelty's throne crumbles under truth's weight, birthing policies that embed dignity into daily routines, reserve parking for adaptive vehicles, menus highlighting veteran discounts, dialogues fostering cross-generational respect. Echoing the Sermon on the Mount, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy," it affirms that compassion rebounds, fortifying society against division. In this tapestry of reversal, we glimpse eternity's equity, the elevated find footing in humility, the heroic claim their due, and indifference yields to indelible warmth. Thus, every encounter whispers an invitation to see beyond facades, repay unseen sacrifices, and weave justice into the fabric of our shared humanity, ensuring no valor fades into forgotten slush. As the echoes of that pivotal reversal fade into the winter hush, the profound truth emerges that societal blind spots to hidden heroism demand vigilant awakening. Consider the ripple effects in urban landscapes, where veterans often blend into the grey margins. Studies from the US Department of Veterans Affairs reveal that over 35,000 homeless vets navigate streets nightly, their service medals buried under layers of neglect. Yet, when one act of cruelty pierces the veil, it ignites a chain reaction of reform. Corporate empires, as once indifferent, pivot toward accountability. Diner chains nationwide implement hero hour initiatives, offering complimentary meals and priority seating, backed by partnerships with Wounded Warrior Project to verify service records discreetly. This isn't mere optics. Data from Gallup polls shows such programs elevate customer loyalty by 32%, as patrons feel part of a moral uprising. Delving into neuroscientific angles, fMRI scans from empathy researchers at Emory University illustrate how narratives of veteran redemption activate the brain's reward centers, flooding them with dopamine akin to personal triumphs. Witnessing the mighty humbled triggers mirror neuron responses, compelling viewers to recalibrate their own judgments. Suddenly, the disheveled figure becomes a symbol of resilience, not refuse. This shift dismantles the halo effect bias, where snap aesthetics override substance, fostering environments where managers undergo annual Valor Vision training, using virtual reality simulations to immerse them in a soldier's post-deployment struggles. Practical outcomes abound. Retail outlets stock service-first kits with hygiene essentials and job referral cards, while apps like VetConnect link employers directly to skilled ex-military talent, slashing unemployment rates by 18% in pilot cities. Philosophically, this saga echoes Eastern concepts of interdependent karma, blended with Western stoicism. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations urged, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears," reminding us that the injurer's downfall stems from self-inflicted isolation. In modern terms, toxic authority figures face professional exile, their resumes tainted by viral reckonings, prompting HR overhauls with AI-driven sentiment analysis to flag discriminatory patterns early. Communities respond with fervor. Holiday fundraisers swell, channeling millions into tiny home villages designed by architects like Gregory Clone, transforming shipping containers into dignified sanctuaries equipped with solar power and veteran-led counseling hubs. Biblically, the Ark aligns with Psalm 82:3-4's mandate. Defend the weak and the fatherless. Uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. This divine blueprint manifests in policy triumphs. The honor. Our Veterans Act expands VA housing vouchers, ensuring no medal winner slumbers in sub-zero squalor. Psychologically, it counters learned helplessness, a term coined by Martin Seligman. By spotlighting agency, overlooked individuals reclaim narratives, inspiring memoirs that top bestseller lists and fuel TED Talks drawing millions. Philanthropists amplify this, Mackenzie Scott's quiet billions see grassroots orgs like swords to plowshares, reintegrating vets through bespoke career pipelines in tech and trades. Ultimately, the lesson crystallizes in eternal reciprocity. Cruelty's currency depreciates swiftly, while quiet fortitude accrues compound interest across lifetimes. Workplaces evolve with equity audits, scrutinizing protocols for inclusivity, yielding diverse teams 21% more innovative per McKinsey metrics. Families inherit this ethos, weaving bedtime stories of unsung saviors that instill precocious compassion. Non-profits pioneer shadow mentor programs, pairing at-risk youth with vets for storytelling sessions that bridge generational chasms, reducing recidivism by 27%. In this symphony of restored balance, indifference dissolves into intentional kinship. Streets once hostile brim with warmth. Freezing benches yield to heated shelters. Scornful glares to nodding respect. The fabric of humanity strengthens, thread by unbreakable thread, as we honor the invisible battles that forged our freedoms. No act of valor ever truly vanishes. It simmers, awaiting the precise moment to illuminate the darkness, proving that justice, though delayed, arrives with thunderous finality. Here, in the heart of reversal, lies the unyielding promise. Humility exalts, hubris topples, and every soul's worth shines eternal, binding us in unbreakable solidarity against the chill of forgetfulness. Want more Karens crushed by mysterious karma? Smash like and subscribe for instant justice.